of the unemployed doctor division.
So that during this you don't have enough doctors, they can't access a doctor. And imagine going to a hospital around the corner, and this country districts in hospitals and the doctors who are still languishing on the street understand the plight and they understand the need for the well-being of the citizen. They access a private doctor. But when you leave Lusaka, that they gave us an audience and we presented to them. Thank you.
Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee points to audit Falali has expressed could not locate. He warned that the committee was given adequate notice to appear about its intention to buy materials. Hence, further says, despite following the procurement,
it was auditing findings. Was new to the Minister of Health, who helped us auditing.
Conference NDC Malite told journalists at a major briefing who arrived at the National Governing Council, Home Affairs and Internal Security, the new Donor President Administration, Pombolo.
And now that we have, and how much that we receive, very which this we are supporting them. But what in council when DC has made this is about at the end of the day.
The Census X fans, as well as hiding
to assist his wife with a wheelchair and medical attention. Speaking to Muvi TV, John Mwape says his wife, Christine, has not been able to work for over 11 years due to the sickness. He says ever since his wife fell ill, he has had a challenge providing for the family. Mr. Mwape has also explained he is being accused of witchcraft due to his old age and has since been told to evacuate the property.
For over 11 years, John Mwape, resident of Lusaka Garden Compound, has been taking care of his wife, Christine, age 58, who is unable to walk. Mr. Mwape does not have a stable job to help him provide for his family and 7 children. He says his wife needs serious medical attention and a wheelchair. Mr. Mwape has called on government and well-wishers to intervene in the matter.
Chitoiri yonse munankala cha donation bakazi banga singa basibeka sibanyamuka sibayenda bose nkubachikira bandwara stroke for 11 years kwa mimi nzo sevenza bananipisha kifuka cha matenda yabo kudwara ta imuhimu lova manini tapelekeni kasi sankampo nchimuzi kusia nchito mpeleke bakazi bani kumuzi nakangi wakati nzampeleka kuti ndodwara so naturally Naleka kusebenza namba kusunga cha bila madam up to now ni 11 years manje ningosunga so cha.
Now, in a twist of events, Mr. Mwape has also explained that he is accused of witchcraft due to his old age. The has since given Mr. Mwape's family an ultimatum of what to leave the house. Reporting for Muvi TV in Lusaka.
So unfortunate. A group of members of Parliament, MPs, championing comprehensive sexuality education, CSE in Zambia, have welcomed the remarks by President Hakainde Hichilema, who expressed concern on child marriages, teenage pregnancies, and gender-based violence in his speech at the Nchwala ceremony of the Ngwani people in Chipata. Group Representative Twambo Mutinta says President Hichilema acts do not only demonstrate the highest political will by the new Dawn government, but clearly underscores the resolve and intent to tackle early child marriages and teenage pregnancies. In a statement, Mr. Mutinta says addressing the rise in cases of child marriages, teenage pregnancies, and gender-based violence should be prioritized to realize the much-needed development in Zambia. He says the lawmakers have backed President Hakainde Hichilema's call on tradition, church, and community leaders and other caregivers to take proactive steps to stop all forms of gender-based violence and teenage pregnancies. Mr. Mutinta says the MPs are of the view that the clergy in the country should familiarize themselves with a comprehensive sexuality education curriculum and integrate its intents in their Sunday or Sabbath and youth programs to end vices that promote unhealthy behaviors that have not spared churches and other religious circles. Former Lusaka Province Minister Obvious Mwali Teta has complained over the dirty and uncollected garbage in the Central Business District, CBD of Lusaka. Mr. Mwali Teta wonders why garbage is not being collected, by the Lusaka City Council LCC, because they are fully in charge of the collection of revenue in the city. He was speaking in an interview with TV News.
Province Minister Obvious Mwali Teta has appealed to the Lusaka City Mayor to put up a solution over dirty and uncollected garbage in the Central Business District of Lusaka. Speaking in an interview with Muvi TV News, 1st of March 2022, Mr. Mwali Teta raised concerns and still wonders why garbage in most areas, especially town, is not being collected by the council, despite collecting revenue from citizens.
And the Lusaka City Council is now collecting money, which they never collected before. So I'm just wondering, why is it now becoming difficult for them to clean the cities? Our city is very dirty, it's true, and this is the responsibility of the council, Before, there was an excuse of saying we don't have money, the cadres are getting money, but now there are no cadres in the bus stations, there are no cadres in the markets, so every revenue is going to the Lusaka City Council. We want to see that revenue brought back by cleaning the city. But Mayor, please, there's a problem in Lusaka. Lusaka is just dirty.
And the Lusaka City Council Limatawa bus station manager Chintu Kizito has disclosed that the council have come up with measures to ensure that the district is clean. He says the council are now waiting for garbage to pile as they collect once it accumulates and charge fee on anyone throwing litter anyhow in the area.
The policy that luggage must be collected and dumped at their reasonable dump site by its rate of accumulation. It's not really about coming twice a week to collect garbage and dumping it at their dumping site. No. It's about how much are we accumulating in a day, at what rate. If it will mean us collecting garbage 6 times in a day, we'll do that so that we demonstrate that markets must be clean.
Meanwhile, a vendor on Freedom Way, Michael, says he is happy with the new measures put in place by the council for the city to be clean and free from diseases.
Sometime after 2 hours bakutamu ana wa bakutamu so twondera mwacho saso noti bagonerera munga lero Friday so bachosa ngazapo na 19 hours zitabavu bachosa noti ngambo kuja aliye nsambira manto tupate kuba kazi ndio ambo hapa wamenya mavenda zo kulisa mu street mu za driver zitoka kuja tumaendo tera bacha kwa kanso basi bagwera bazura kwerotenga mabiki.
Caroline Mwanza reporting for Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
Opposition Golden Party of Zambia leader Jackson Silavwe says the recent increment on the price of fuel is a clear and urgent call for economic help. Mr. Silavwe says Zambia needs a grand economic reset urgently to save the majority people from poverty and protect industrial production. He has since called for well-meaning Zambians to get involved in repairing the economy. Mr. Silavwe says economic turnaround should no longer be a subject of politicking, hence President Hakainde Hichilema and the New Dawn administration needs help, serious help that is, to turn around the economic fortunes of the country. And the leadership movement, LM, says monthly revision of the petroleum palm prices is not helping poor Zambians and the government itself. Party media director Tatila has since asked the newly appointed board at TRB to provide leadership, emphasizing the economy is frustrating and will worsen the already struggling economy.
As Golden Party of Zambia, we would like to put it on record that we do overcome the price increase of fuel that was announced by the Energy Regulation Board yesterday. It will push a lot of our people in poverty. A lot of our people will not afford the basic essentials on the market. And also, secondly, we do not support it because it creates a lot of instability on the market. For us, we interpret this increment as a call for help. The UPND government, President Hakainde Hichilema, needs help in terms of economics. And it's no longer fancy. It's not even an issue to joke about. It's not even an issue to politic about. President Hakainde Hichilema needs help economically. And so as a party that believes in putting our country first and our people, we are calling for an indaba, an economic indaba, so that Zambians can be able to make recommendations that will be presented to government. I think Zambians, we are not short of solutions. We are not short of brains to come up with solutions that can help our economy. And I'm talking about local solutions that can help our economy and become resilient against even external factors.
Yes, I think for us as the leadership movement, we want ERB to sympathize with local communities, the local people, the poor people, what's happening on the ground. This monthly review on palm prices, I think it's not helping us, because it's bringing us in circles. It's going round. You can't be having every month they increase, they bring down with one kwacha. Let's have a tangible price regarding the fuel price, because fuel is something that drives the economy. We all depend on fuel. So I think they need to be serious once for all. We cannot have a board at ARB that is failing to save the interests of the Zambian people. Save the interests of the Zambian people by ensuring that you down the fuel once and for all.
A set of commercial breaks will be back. Stay tuned to your channel of choice.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's a piece.
Bet Power, you can chat, message or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
Istana ya Afrika ya kupende chalo akamwana kanono nomsepela kwikala chapamo kuribe kumunzi kuribe mutauni kumatero.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
Travel to and from South Africa with Rwanda Air as we offer 20% off discount for flights. Sales period between 25th January to 28th February. Buy your tickets now through Rwanda Air. Fly the dream of Africa.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. The Zambia Police Service has underscored the importance of community collaboration in curbing and preventing crime in the country. Zambia Police Service Deputy Inspector General Operations Miona Muyambango says the service has continued to establish collaborative partnerships with stakeholders and members of the public to achieve this goal. Mr. Muyambango says the service also recognizes the need to continue working with institutions that care for the vulnerable in society. He was speaking ahead of this year's Police Day commemoration, which falls on 4th March, to be held under the theme Police and the Community. Together we can rebuild our relationship for a better tomorrow.
The Zambia Police Service on Tuesday held a community engagement event as a curtain raiser to the Police Day that falls on March 4th every year. During the event, the service donated assorted goods and items to the Home of Happiness for children living with disabilities.
And what you have seen here will go a long way. You have saved a number of days of hunger. These children know that they'll go to sleep with food. They will not sleep on empty stomachs, but they'll be joyed with what you have done here. So I would like to encourage you to continue doing this great service.
Officiating at the event was Deputy Inspector General of Police Operations, Miuna Myambango.
The Zambia Police Service realized that law enforcement and safety provision for the community can not only be done through patrols, investigations, arrests and the prosecution of offenders. Instead, the Zambia Police Service realizes that working with the communities and care facilities is one of the effective ways of inculcating good morals.
Mr. Myambango said the Zambia Police Service appreciates efforts of the home in taking care of vulnerable children and pledged a health package.
Assembled here today, we will perform cleaning services around the care facility and also interact with your members of staff. At the same time, our medical team from Skanze Police Hospital will be offering health services to the residents of this facility. That includes your members of staff and the children as well. I must hasten to mention that this is not a one-off activity, but you'll be seeing our members of our health staff from time to time visiting you to ensure that the well-being of these children is taken care of.
This year's Police Day will be celebrated under the theme Police and the Community. Together we can rebuild our relationship for a better tomorrow. The Zambia Police Service has since pledged to continue partnering with various institutions and the public to foster relations aimed at enhancing safety and well-being of all Zambians. For Muvi TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula.
Of a peaceful and a stable environment to the Zambian government, citizens and foreign investors cannot be overemphasized as it is vital for continued economic pursuits. Lieutenant General Barry says peace and stability in the region is key to economic development. Said it is on this premise that ZAF deployed under the SADC mission in Mozambique, an initiative of the SADC member state of the SADC member state to stabilize the security situation in the Cabo Delgado region in northern Mozambique. Lieutenant General Barry says the Air Force shall cooperate with state organs and state institutions in times of public emergencies and national disasters. He also says his command attaches and will continue to attach great importance to the health care of personnel, with the understanding that the health workforce is key to the achievement of the Air Force core business of defending the Zambian airspace.
Operations, and furthermore, the Zambia Air Force shall cooperate with state organs and state institutions in times of public emergencies and national disasters. It is against this backdrop that the Zambia Air Force has collaborated with the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, to manage disasters in the country and to assuage human suffering. The Zambia Air Force stands ready to work with the government in the utilization of the aerial spray capability to spray pesticides or chemicals over a wide area when infested by pests. Also, we will look at spraying epicenters during disease outbreaks such as cholera and typhoid. In addition to carrying out our core function, we will control and casualty evacuation. Also, in the conveyance of electoral materials and officials for the Electoral Commission of Zambia, in providing surveillance and security support to the Department of National Parks and Wildlife, the Mining Sector, Anti-Corruption Commission, and the Drug Enforcement Commission, among others.
Senior Chieftainess Kawaza of the Chewa of Sinda and Katete districts, Eastern Province, has hailed government for the free education policy that reminds her of the Kenneth Kaunda days. She said before free education was implemented by the UPND government, many parents used to struggle to raise school fees for their children. Speaking when Presidential Special Assistant for Political Affairs, Levin Goma, paid a courtesy call on her, she says her chiefdom is ready to work with the government of the day. And the Presidential Special Assistant Political Affairs says President Hakainde Hichilema does not want to have a relationship with chiefs only for electoral purposes. He said President Hichilema considered chiefs
na President Vadziko la Zambia. So mwana President Vadziko la Zambia chituko chiende muno mdziko isetiwa sungira yangu kuno kumudzi. Tifunika tiendere pamodzi. Unongana kuti Zambia zofunikira. So tiwalandira ndi manja abiri tira pamwe hafunika kupfunza. So icho tiri kugwesa mafumu omba niyokwezera bajabana kuti kusukulu wachana lekaona kuti tabwera kwa mtsamunda kwa kaunda kwa full education kuti aliyesa akaphunzireko sensi ochiyambikira chifukwa aleka kusukulu kuti pinganiteke kuti ndalama
ndinipotera olomwina chata ndeyo wonse ni makolo yathu siyapopoka na maganizo ano pa nyumba pa boma simataniza kweli ngata serious is that taking my chief's palaces demand.
If the country has to reduce the impact of climate change, working areas rather at Mwembeshi boarding school in Chilantris in the district
have taken advantage of the tree planting exercise at Mwembeshi boarding school to also.
It's not just about global warming, actually it's also about
leads to serious adverse effects.
Mwembeshi boarding school head
expansion, maybe through your office, you can lobby for us so that we can have more boarding spaces and block
of climate change in the country.
I therefore wish to urge in planting trees as we transition to green economy. I urge all of us to change the attitude from cutting down the trees.
Break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Travel to and from South Africa with Luan Air. Fly the dream of Africa.
As your organization, the safety you require in these hard times of the COVID-19 pandemic by using effective disinfectants procedures such as knockdown and residual disinfecting that helps prevent and get rid of COVID-19. We do knockdown and residual disinfecting procedures on 0955 76 7835 or 0955 992230, or come to the third floor, room 3, Tazara House, corner of Dedan Kimati, and in social distancing and staying.
On the unilateral suspension on the importation of your onions and potatoes into the country that might have repaid suppliers of locally grown onions were unable to meet national demand.
Ended the importation of onions and potatoes. This was in response to a request from the Zambian National Farmers Union, who raised a theological reflection wishes to highlight that these onions and potatoes anchored on the premise of promoting consumption of local products. The ban was, however, lifted to reiterate what we said in 2021, that while well-intended, importation bans have the view that interventions such as this one require detailed consideration, and that safeguards for importation bans on the basis that foreign imports make their produce for years' experience there is need to put it run and in the long run. Continues to be a net importer of commodities that can, and also explore and strategize on how they will tap into markets using a multi-sector approach.
We get into us paired with Green Eagles in one of an epic quarter-final. Say the 2018 champions Ghana. The draws were this morning conducted at Taj Pamosi Hotel with TCA's 13th March 2022 at Arthur Davis Stadium. The semi-final, Tapa, in an interview shortly after they unveiled to play Super League side Green Buffalo.
From the lower division, obviously it will be tricky because ours and anything can happen. We are going to give it our all, but the biggest priority is to come back in the Premier Division. I think so. I think Green Buffalo is being in the upset. So the main key minutes here, I think most of the players will see the league. Division 1 is tough, but obviously the best is the If we win, we We would like to win the semi-finals, but obviously it's a tough league. Sometimes you play with teams it's not very good. So
lastly, now international news this evening. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says they will not back down from the economic sanctions on Russia. Trudeau Monday evening announced that Canada will be sending military supplies and upgraded ammunition. The Canada Prime Minister has described the conflict between Ukraine and Russia as unnecessary war.
Ukrainians have held strong. The whole world is inspired by the strength and intensity of their resistance, and Canada will continue to deliver support for Ukraine's heroic defense against the Russian military. Yesterday, we announced that we would be sending new shipments of military supplies, including body armor, helmets, gas masks, and night vision goggles. Today, we are announcing that we will be supplying Ukraine with anti-tank weapons systems and upgraded ammunition. Of course, in addition to our 3 previous shipments of lethal and non-lethal equipment. It's encouraging to see so many of our partners also stepping up to deliver support and equipment to Ukraine. The international community is rallying to support democracy and the people of Ukraine. The Canadian Armed Forces will also be providing airlift support to transport supplies and aid and to contribute to other NATO efforts. The Russian government is now experiencing the severity of our coordinated sanctions. It is increasingly clear that President Putin has made a grave miscalculation. Today, the ruble plunged to record lows and the Russian stock market was forced to close. People across Russia and around the world are taking to the streets demanding freedom for Ukraine. Our message is clear. This unnecessary war must stop now. The costs will only grow steeper, and those responsible will be held accountable.
We get to look at the headline stories once again. Rats nibble child's face at government hospital in Luapula. Family drama intensifies.
Students with a diploma in primary humanities and to visit us at Regent College along core 0966
The 5th January. Dial stage smart card number, like the amount you wish to 0052